Today we're looking at the MMA promotions in Canada who had the best year in 2021. It still was a tough year for promoters in the Great White North as the pandemic was bothering us on and off during the whole year, and there was a lot of restrictions and events being cancelled by commissions because of the virus. It was still the year where most major promotions were able to resume their activities and some new ones were even able to make waves. So without further ado, here is my list of the 5 best Canadian MMA promotions in 2021. Before we get going, I would like to give out some honorable mentions to Montreal Fight League and Mamba Fight Night, who were able to present some amateur action, to Rise FC, who also held an event earlier this year, and to Tarps Fight Club, who were so close to present an event. They were all set for their introduction in December before the government shut the whole shit down. At number 5, we've got Fight League Atlantic. It's the only promotion in the top 5 who couldn't present any pro fights this year, but I still have to include them because they still put in some amazing work despite the major hurdles that were put in their way. In fact, their event Fight League Atlantic 2 was cancelled by the Nova Scotia Athletic Commission about 2 weeks out of the event because of concerns regarding the third wave of COVID cases. They were able to scramble and reschedule the event a month later in New Brunswick, and they were the only ones that were able to give the opportunities for fighters in Eastern Canada to compete. They also presented multiple submission kumite grappling events, which were always a pleasure to watch. Their contribution needs to be acknowledged, and that's why I've got them at number 5. At number 4, it's Unified MMA. The promotion from Alberta was able to present 3 events this year, and they also had a lot of hurdles to overcome. The Unified 40 card was great, but 2 of the last 3 fights were a little bit underwhelming, though the co-main was still a Fight of the Year contender. Unified 41 was doomed when they lost their main event on 24 hours notice, and they had to scramble to get a guy from the undercard to fight Shane Campbell. It ended up in a not very competitive matchup. Unified 42 was really the type of event that the promotion accustomed us to, with one of the biggest fights of the year in the main events and some highlights from start to finish. Unified MMA is the most established promotion in the country along with BFL, and even though things started off a little slow this year, the ball seems to be rolling now, and we can surely expect a memorable 2022 from them. At number 3, we've got Samourai MMA. The new promotion from Quebec had to go through hell and back just to be able to present their first event in Montreal in November. But how great of an event was it? It's tough to put them over other promotions who were able to present many events this year, but Samourai was without a doubt the revelation of the year. They are clearly shooting for the top spot, and it's quite possible that they get it, as they were able to put out the better looking event this year. Their quality of production is unmatched in Canada, so if the fights always deliver like they did the first time around, sky is the limit for them. At number 2, we've got Battlefield Fight League. Say what you will about the little controversies here and there surrounding the results, which are all on the commission in my opinion, but BFL is absolutely the top MMA promotion in Canada. They are the only ones who have the roster to put on shows on back-to-back nights like they did with BFL 68 and 69. The way that they rise their prospects through the amateur ranks before putting them into pro fights is clearly working, as they are year after year presenting us with some of the finer young fighters in the country. With 5 events this year, they were the most active promotion in Canadian MMA, and they could have clearly won the crowd of the best promotion in the country. But I've got to give the number 1 position to BTC Fight Promotions this year. In fact, they presented events all over Canada, with BTC 10 being held in Vancouver and BTC 11 being held in Alberta before coming back home to Ontario for BTC 12 and 13. Even the BTC 12 card, who kind of fell apart with only 4 fights, gave us 4 finishes and one of the best fights of the year. So BTC really couldn't miss this year. All the events were great, and they were the Iron Man of Canadian MMA promotions this year, traveling all around the country to make sure and give the most possible amounts of fighters the opportunity to compete in a year where it was still tough to find fights. That's why BTC is your 2021 Canadian MMA Promotion of the Year. This concludes my list. Please like the video if you liked it. Tell me how wrong I am in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to MMA Talk for some more Canadian MMA content. See you next time.